Money. It's all around us, influencing the choices we make, the paths we take, and how we feel about ourselves. It's interesting how some folks really seem to have it all figured out, while others are constantly on the hunt for it. For many people, money seems pretty straightforward. Just earn, save, invest, and do it all over again. But really, money is so much more than just numbers on a spreadsheet or what you see in your bank account. It really shows what we're all about as people. Financial success isn't just about what you know regarding money. It's really about how you act with it. Emotions such as fear, greed, pride, and insecurity really influence the choices we make. That's why two people earning the same amount can find themselves in totally different financial situations. Money isn't just a numbers game, it's also about how we think and feel about it. In this video, we're diving into some insights from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. We'll take a look at the hidden forces that really influence our financial lives. We'll explore how the impact of compounding, along with the unpredictable nature of luck and risk, shows that our mindset and actions around money can be more important than the actual figures. Let's explore the human aspect of wealth, where success goes beyond your bank account and taps into your mindset. We each have our own financial blueprint, influenced by how we were raised, our surroundings, and those early experiences we had with money. The way we think about wealth, risk, and financial decisions really comes from these influences. You can really see this point when you look at the experiences of different generations. Like, for instance, a person born in 1975 saw the stock market really take off in the 1980s and 1990s. This really boosted people's confidence in investing and made them more eager to jump into the stock market. On the flip side, a person born in 1960 experienced high inflation and flat stock markets while growing up. So, they tend to be a bit more cautious with their investments, focusing on keeping their wealth safe instead of trying to grow it quickly. These early experiences really influence how folks think about money, often even more than just the facts or logic behind it. The choices we make about money are really personal, shaped by our own experiences. What seems irrational to one person might totally make sense to someone else, especially if their financial beliefs come from a different set of life experiences. Housel really nails it when he says, "People do some crazy things with money, but nobody's really crazy." We're all navigating our financial journeys, even if those stories aren't visible to anyone else. Understanding compounding. Compounding is definitely the key to unlocking amazing financial success. It might seem straightforward to earn interest on your interest, but a lot of people don't really get its true power. It builds up gradually at first, and then, out of nowhere, it takes off. Let's talk about Lewis Grant, an investor who kicked off his journey when he was just 10 years old. When he hit his 30s, he was already seeing his wealth grow quite a bit. It wasn't just one brilliant investment that did the trick. It was more about letting the magic of compounding do its thing over the years. So, let's break down compounding. If you put in $1,000 with an 8% interest rate, you'll make $80 in the first year. Next year, you'll earn interest not only on the original $1,000 but also on the total $1,080, which will give you $86.40. Over the years, this snowball effect can really grow small investments into significant amounts of money. Compounding is pretty amazing because it really takes off as time goes on. The sooner you get going, the bigger the difference you'll see. Starting early can really change the game, even if your returns aren't the highest. Just think about it. What if Lewis had decided to start investing in his 30s instead? Even if he had the same investment strategy, his wealth would still be just a small part of what it could have been. Why is that? Compounding really just needs time, more than anything else. It's all about that slow and steady growth that really leads to amazing wealth in the end. Compounding isn't just about building wealth, it also applies to knowledge, habits, and life skills. Even the little things you do regularly can really add up and make a big difference in the long run. But a lot of folks tend to overlook how powerful compounding can be, since the results don't show up right away. What makes us worry about losing money? When we talk about money, It seems like a lot of us tend to lean towards the negative side. It's tough to ignore bad news like economic downturns and market crashes, right? Losses just hit harder than the joy we get from gains. Focusing too much on the negative can really mess with our perspective and keep us from seeing the bigger picture. Over the years, we've seen economies grow, living standards get better, and stock markets climb higher. It seems like pessimism tends to take the lead in the short run since negative events unfold rapidly, whereas positive outcomes usually require a bit more time to grow. Can you picture it? The stock market taking a nosedive by 40% in just 6 months, that's definitely going to grab some attention. People are definitely going to chat about it. But you know, if the market grows 140% over 6 years, that's more of a slow and steady climb that doesn't really grab the spotlight. We tend to focus on the big drops, but we often miss the slow and steady improvements happening around us. One important takeaway is that being optimistic, thinking that things will improve over time, actually fits better with what we see in the world of money. It's interesting how pessimism tends to catch our eye more easily, right? A lot of us end up overlooking long-term financial growth because we're so fixated on those short-term losses. Luck and risk play a big role in how we build wealth, don't you think? It's interesting to see how these factors interact in our lives. Getting ahead financially isn't only about having the right skills. It's really about luck and risk, those two unseen forces that can shape outcomes more than we often think. So, let's chat about two high school buddies, Oliver and Jake. Both were super talented, but while Oliver became a successful entrepreneur, Jake ran into some unexpected challenges. A serious accident ended his career before it really got started. They both had what it took to succeed, but luck and risk took them on completely different paths. In finance, you can always count on luck and risk being around. Even when you make all the right choices, unexpected things can throw a wrench in your plans. On the flip side, you could end up making some bad choices and still get lucky enough to come out on top. Getting a grip on how luck and risk play into things really keeps us grounded. It's a good reminder that we don't have complete control over success, just like we don't over failure. Sometimes, things that happen around us have a bigger impact on what we end up with than what we actually do ourselves. The real cost of success. A lot of folks dream of financial success, but they often hesitate to pay the real cost that comes with it. Some people believe they can dodge risks and still score amazing returns. Just like with any meaningful goal, achieving financial success comes with its own costs. Imagine investing as if you're shopping for a car. You have a few options when it comes to getting a car. You can purchase a new one at full price, grab a used one for a better deal, or, well, there's always the option of trying to steal one. Stealing the car is kind of like trying to perfectly time the stock market. It's all about buying before a boom or selling before a crash. You know, most folks probably wouldn't go for stealing a car since the risks just don't add up to the rewards. But you know, when it comes to money, a lot of folks think they can outsmart the market and not deal with the fallout. You know, the reality is that if you want to see great returns, you've got to be okay with taking some risks. Long-term financial success isn't just about the money. It's really about rolling with the market's highs and lows. Volatility is like the emotional price tag you have to deal with for the chance of getting better returns. Constantly jumping in and out of the market to avoid volatility usually ends up leading to worse results. It's all about understanding that investing requires a good dose of patience and the willingness to ride out uncertainty as time goes on. True wealth and being rich. Being rich and being wealthy are often mixed up, but there's a significant difference between the two. Being rich means looking at your income and the stuff you have, like fancy cars, spacious homes, and lavish trips. Being wealthy is really more about what's hidden from view. It's the cash you've set aside, put into investments, and built up over the years. Let's talk about Natalie for a moment. She has a pretty basic car, dresses in casual clothes, and stays in a cozy little house. She's steadily growing her wealth by saving and investing wisely. Even though you can't see her wealth from the outside, it's definitely there and on the rise. Now, if you look at her friend Liam, he's got a luxury car and lives in a fancy apartment. Liam's lifestyle seems lavish, but it's actually supported by debt. His wealth is mostly just an illusion, propped up by borrowed money. Real wealth is all about what you hold on to, not just what you throw around. It takes some self-discipline, a bit of restraint, and the knack for holding off on instant rewards. Many folks mix up being rich with being wealthy, but wealth is more about what's behind the scenes. It's built over time through smart financial decisions, rather than just showing off material things. Understanding when you've had your fill. You know, one of the biggest pitfalls when chasing after wealth is this thing called the hedonic treadmill. It's like no matter how much we accomplish, we always find ourselves wanting more. We land a promotion, but before we know it, we're already looking at the next one. We get a bigger house, but down the line, we're thinking about getting an even bigger one. Always chasing after more can really take a toll on your finances and overall happiness. Take Daniel Reyes, for example. He had it all: wealth, power, influence, but still decided to gamble everything away because he just couldn't figure out when to stop. He just kept wanting more, and in the end, he lost everything. Understanding when to draw the line is super important for both your happiness and your financial health. Chasing after money really only feels rewarding if it gives you the freedom to manage your time and enjoy life the way you want. True wealth isn't just about accumulating more. It's really about having control over your life and recognizing when to stop the chase. In the end, money gets tricky because we're all a bit complicated ourselves. It's not just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's connected to our feelings, experiences, and actions. Getting to financial success isn't only about figuring out the investing rules or being a math whiz. It's really about grasping the human aspect of money. If we understand how compounding works, keep a positive outlook on our long-term goals, and remember that luck, risk, and discipline play their parts, we can really improve our financial choices. Real wealth isn't about flaunting what you have. It's more about steady, thoughtful growth as time goes by. And you know what? It's really about figuring out when you've hit that sweet spot of enough. As you move forward on your financial journey, keep in mind, it's not only about what you know, but also about how you act. And don't forget, the main aim isn't just to get rich. It's about having freedom.